ng species natin sa buong mundo, okay? When you say red list of threatened species, ano yun, ma'am? That is established comprehensive inventory of conservation status of the world's flora and fauna using quantitative criteria in evaluating the extinction risk of the various species. So kapag daw magmo-monitor sila ng mga population ng species natin, it is expressed in numbers, okay? Quantitative criteria. And as of now, IUCN Red List is acknowledged as the most authoritative guide in terms of the species population status. Okay. Extinction is usually in so we have here terms. When you say biological extinction, yun yung complete disappearance of species from the earth. Ay, wala yung local extinction. Nalagay ko lang, okay? Biological extinction yon. Complete disappearance of a species from Earth. Talagang wala na siya. Kapag local extinction, siya, there is no doubt that the last individual of a particular species has died from a defined region or area. Kapag, for example, yung isang animal in this place, wala na siya. Local extinction. When you say critically endangered, there is an extremely high risk of extinction in the wild in the immediate future. Pwedeng maging extinct siya in the future. Endangered, may high risk siya of extinction in the wild in the immediate future. Kapag threatened, any species which is likely to become endangered within the foreseeable future throughout all or a significant portion of its range. So kapag sinabi mong threatened, pwede silang maging endangered. For the vulnerable, it faces a high risk of extinction in the wild in the immediate future. So pwedeng siyang high risk of extinction and classified as threatened in the near future if casual factors persist. Kapag sinabi mo namang endemic, yung population ng species that is native dun sa region and which area of distribution ay restricted to a small place. Endemic, doon lang sila sa place na yun. When you say exotic, an introduced species not native or endemic to the area in question. So, hindi mo alam kung saan siya galing talagang place. Wala siyang particular place. Very exotic siya, okay? A species is said to be vulnerable when it faces environmental and human factors that contribute to its decrease in population which might become threatened. So, kapag after maging vulnerable siya, magiging threatened yung yung species natin kapag nag-persist yung human factors na nagko-contribute sa decrease ng population. So kapag threatened yung species, they may eventually become endangered. And if the external factors further affect their population, leading to becoming critical in status, and kapag completely nag-disappear na yung species na yon, yung species is said now to be extinct. And we have here the table. IUCN, ito yung IUCN Red List. By the year 2020, it has provided 9 categories and criteria to monitor the conservation status and risk of global extinction as described in the table below. The first category is not evaluated, meaning no data to support whether extinct na siya or hindi pa. Hindi siya na-evaluate. Kapag data deficient, there is inadequate information to make a direct or indirect assessment of its risk of extinction based on its distribution and or population status. So, hindi sapat yung mga information na nakuha nila para i-assess nila kung extinct na ba yung species or hindi. So, we have here an example, Philippine hatchet fish. Ayan yung image niya. bull's-eye reef lobster, and Indian mackerel. Sila yung under sa category natin na data deficient wherein kailangan pa nila ng maraming data tungkol sa kanila. Next, we have list concern. We have here a taxon that has been evaluated against the red list criteria and does not qualify for critically endangered, vulnerable, or threatened. So, list concern, hindi nila masyadong concern yung ano nila kasi hindi sila naka-qualify as critically endangered, vulnerable, or threatened. And we have here the examples. We have here the Philippine Viviparous Protula, Philippine Dartfish, Alinganoy, and Alpine Marbot. Next, we have here the near threatened, yung medyo threatened na sila or the NT. A taxon has been evaluated against the criteria but does not qualify for critically endangered, vulnerable, or threatened now but is close to qualifying. Hindi pa sila qualified pero close to qualifying na sila, kaya near threatened sila. And we have here the examples, the Philippine tarsier, Mindanao fang frog, giant Philippine frog, and the West African black mud turtle. Next category, we have here the vulnerable or VU. It meets any of the criteria A to E, yung kanina, for vulnerable, facing a high risk of extinction in the wild. Example natin, we have here the Philippine deer, Philippine duck, black and white spitting cobra. When you say endangered, ito na yung mga endangered species natin. It faces a very high risk of extinction in the wild. Examples here, we have Philippine spotted deer, North Philippine hawk eagle, and Calamian deer. Another is the pig-nosed turtle. Pig-nosed kasi mukhang parang yung ilong ng baboy yung ilong nila. And the Asian elephant. So this species, they face a very high risk of extinction in the wild. Next, we have here the critically endangered or CR. It faces an extremely high risk of extinction in the wild. Okay, Philippine eagle and Philippine crocodile. Another is the Philippine cockatoo, Philippine pangolin, and the eastern gorilla. So they are now critically endangered. They are near to extinction class. Ito naman na yung mga extinct in the wild, known only to survive in cultivation in captivity or as a naturalized population outside the pasturage. Presumed extinct in the wild if surveys in known habitats have failed to record an individual over a time frame. So we have here some examples of extinct na species sa wild natin. We have here the Hawaiian crow, Wyoming toad, Kalimantan mingo. And now we have here the extinct, yung mga hindi na talaga nag-exist. No reasonable doubt that the last individual has died. Now, according sa data nila, wala na talagang nag-exist. We have here the poison frog and the golden toad. Okay? Another is this one. They are extinct because of human activities. Passenger pigeon, great oak, yung dodo, golden toad, and the apiornis, which is found in Madagascar. Itong mga species na to extinct na sila. Okay? Now we have here causes of biological extinction, wherein the world faces several environmental and anthropogenic issues which are probable causes of biological extinction of various species. Now we have here the link, kung makikita nyo yan, you need to watch this documentary. Di bale 3 minutes lang naman ito. It talks about the cause and effects of the climate change featured by the National Geographic nung last 2017 pa. So panoorin nyo dapat yan kasi you will have this activity. Okay? Yung code nyo is FS1 at ilalagay nyo siya sa yellow pad paper. Kapag napanood nyo na yung clip na yon, you need to answer this in 50 to 100 words and underline the salient ideas or parang yung main idea nung sinulat ninyo. Number 1, how does greenhouse effect contribute in the climate change? Number 2, what contributes to the tremendous increase of the carbon dioxide level in the atmosphere? And number 3, how does climate change affect the people and environment? So for this slide, we have here major threats to biodiversity that may cause extinction. Di ba kanina sinabi ko sa iyo, nagkakaroon tayo ng extinction, rapid extinction kasi sa mga kagagawan natin, okay? We have here first the climate change. Human activities catalyzes climate change without affording the ecosystem to recover or adapt. We have here example, increased global temperature, pag-diminish or pagbawas ng Arctic sea ice affecting marine biodiversity and vegetation zones. Another is deforestation and habitat loss, wherein kapag sinabing deforestation, pagputol ng mga puno, wherein it will eventually leads to habitat loss. Direct cause of extinction and loss of biodiversity. We also have here an estimated 18 million acres of forest lost each year. So imagine 18 million acres, napakalawak niyan, class. And due to unregulated or illegal logging and other human practices. Another is overexploitation. Ayan. Nagkakaroon tayo ng overexploitation due to overhunting, overfishing, and overharvesting. When you say over, yan, yung mga term na over, masyadong nasobrahan, okay? They kill off numerous species over the past several hundred years, and we have with the examples poaching and other forms of hunting for profit increase. When you say poaching, plus illegal hunting kasi yan. Another is invasive species. Another cause is invasive species. When you say this one, they threaten endemic wildlife either as predators or competing for resources. And the last here we have the pollution. Indirectly cause extinction. Indirectly kasi hindi siya agad-agad nakaka-affect ng extinction. Gradual yan. Okay? Kung wari, yung pagbasura mo ng mga basura mo sa tubig, dagat. Pagkabasura mo, hindi pa agad namamatay yung mga isda, okay? Pag patuloy na nagtatapon ng basura dun sa pinagtatapunan mong tubig or kunwari ilog, ganyan, or ocean, eventually, yung mga hayop na nakatira doon sa pinagtatapunan mo ng basura, mamamatay sila. Hindi agad-agad, okay? Kaya andyan, indirect yung term dyan. Pollutants may potentially influence ecosystems and disrupt habitats. And the sources, we have your burning of fossil fuels, releasing hazardous chemicals, and leads to ozone depletion and disrupts the ecosystem. Example here, we have the acid rain that may acidify bodies of soil, affecting breeding and feeding habits. Siyempre, kapag yung acid rain, bumagsak yan sa mga kalupaan, that's acid. Kaya contaminated na din yung pinagbagsakan niya. It will not, hindi mag-grow na yung mga kailangan mag-grow dapat for the needs of the species. And we have here activity 2. Yung code niya ay FS2, wherein you write your answer again on a yellow pad paper. How do human actions in a given environment directly and indirectly cause environmental problems? Okay? So you will be having two activities class, FS1 and FS2. Ipasa nyo siya sa akin until Friday. Okay? And that ends the discussion. Thank you so much for listening, class.